Hello, hello, hello. Today is February 20th. It's still Black History Month, y'all. It's still Black History Month. And yes, 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 don't be scared to rock that hairwear. Now, I've seen like in church, you see these women in church, they got these big hats, especially the Holy Convocation. They got these big hats, big hats. Where do you think that come from? Yeah, let's celebrate Black History Month. Bring out your big church hats, bring out your head wraps, whatever it is. Just get it on. Get your Black African attire or whatever it is. Get it out there and let's sport that. Let's sport that and show support for learning more about Black history. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna give everyone some time to get in. Um, I wanted to make sure that I'm trying to support the education of Black history because there's people trying to take Black History Month and do away with it, do away with learning more about Black history. And it's like after all the fight that it was to get any kind of sort of acknowledgement that African Americans are positive contributors to society. Now you want to take that away. It was a lot of positive contributions that African Americans made in the 60s and before that. So let's not take that away. Everybody get out there, voice your concerns, and say, hey, we want to know more about Black history, not just on Black History Month, but definitely on Black History Month. Okay. So it's not just to say, oh, on Black History. How you gonna take it away on Black History Month? That's like, wow. Anyway, so today's episode is going to be about someone made a request. Um, and I want to make sure I honor that request because viewers are important. And whatever they want to know more about, I want to help them know more about and where they can find reputable source information. A lot of times, African Americans don't trust what the doctors say, and that's historical. My husband Eddie on Thursdays he goes out here and he broadcasts some Black history that helps viewers to understand more and connect more to that, to understand better what to do and how to overcome not trusting what other people are saying and doctors and reputable sources. So finding reputable sources is important, but it's also important for you to keep on trying to do what's best for you. Hey, Sean Anthony, thank you for coming. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I have some questions for you. So, this is an interactive show. So, make sure you comment. Even if you comment after the show, comment and we will come back. I'm very faithful with that. I will come back and I will comment to your comment. I will put your comment out there. Hey, Matthew, thank you for coming. Stay tuned. And when the viewers come and make requests or respond, I always respond back. And my objective is to make sure you're getting trust information. That all the difference. Okay, so let's be helpers one to another and tell each other where to get this information. So the lady that asked for me to do this show today, she wanted to know. Um, about diabetes. Now, today's show is mental health is physical wealth because mental problems manifest themselves physically and physical health impacts our mental health. Now, that's important. That's important. And that's why we're going to talk today about diabetes, family, work, school, and mental health. Now, the next slide we'll see now it's a lot of content here, so don't get mad. So all this content we're going to talk about research-based statistics and definitions. What is diabetes? Statistics charts to prove it to me. Where to find more reputable information. Information you can trust. That's what people want. How can I help myself? That's another thing everybody wants to understand. How can I tell loved ones something is wrong when I'm not sure what's going on myself? Well, let's talk about it now. This is an interactive live show. Join in during the live stream or afterwards in the comments. And again, what is this? Diabetes is something that is very high ranked on the charts of things that's killing people. This is things that's killing men. It's number three. Now, why is it so high? Why is it so high on the charts? That's because a lot of people do not want to go to the doctor. It's not necessarily that they don't want to go to the doctor. It's that, some people I've heard, it depends on what generation you're talking about of men. They like, well, why would I go to the doctor? Every time I go to the doctor, they tell me something's wrong. Yes, yes, yes. How many people out there watched Family Reunion, where the grandfather was ill, deathly ill, and he had this sickness in him, and he was like, look, I don't want to go, like the doctor saying, that to get the illness out, because I have to go through all these measurements to get it out. And the family was concerned, because they were like, you have to go, you have to go, we love you, we want you to be around, and if you don't get this sickness out of you, then you won't be around. And he had children and grandchildren, and some of them were, teenagers, and it was really likely that he could live longer to see the teenagers become adults and parents themselves, if he was to take care of this one thing that was going wrong in his body. Now, a lot of times, African American men, or just men, period, they don't want to eat right. They want to say, hey, I can eat this hot dog and I can still run. I can still have the longevity and endurance, no matter what I eat, because I'm a man. That doesn't mean that your body is in agreement with you. Your body isn't in alignment with what you're saying. And it's like, oh, well, I thought I could do. And the only one that really knows it is you and whoever your woman is. Okay. And if you out there, you're a player, you trying to be a player, have a whole bunch of women. Now, a lot of people know. Because, yeah, women talk. They're going to talk and they're going to say, yeah, he used to be able to, but he can't anymore. So men, settle down with one special woman before you start losing your hair or getting sick or slowing down. Find one woman, as I'm telling you, it's a lot women put up with. And that's why you have to find yourself a good thing, because she's got to put up with a lot. Now, that search was just by a Google search, and you can go and find that information simply by Googling. Now, there's another source. It says that here it says heart disease is 24.2%, cancer is 22.5%, and they have diabetes down here at 3.1%, which is the leading cause of death in all races. And this is by the CDC's measurement. Now, the CDC, everybody knows, you saw a lot about the CDC during the pandemic. Everyone was like, well, the CDC, what's the CDC? And everybody got really familiar with the CDC and how they have YouTube meetings where it's from different states and countries and continents, and everybody's getting together, big brains all over the world getting together and trying to figure things out. You didn't even know that that was a thing before the pandemic, but everybody needs to be aware that, yes, that's a thing. World health is something that's very high in the public eye, because without your health, there's no workers. There's no workers, there's no consumers, there's no investors, there's no stakeholders. So you see, all of this is relative. So that's why everyone was concerned about it and became more aware about it during the pandemic. It was not just because the pandemic, but because everybody wanted to know. Everybody wanted to know the information, and everybody wanted to make sure that they had reputable information that they could trust. And who did they depend on? Well, everybody was saying something different. Everybody was saying something different. You had different people going on YouTube and making videos, and everybody now is a YouTube influencer, a social media influencer, a podcaster, and everybody's like, well, who do I listen to? What information can I trust? Where do I turn? Well, a lot of people turn to the CDC to find out information. Now, what information did they tell us? Now, you see here on this chart, it says in 2016, and there's the information of where to get that from. And if I'm going too fast on these charts, remember, you can always rewind and pause. So here we're coming to find that they don't do these tests often. Now, these tests, like I said in some other episodes, it takes for people to volunteer to participate in studies. And the studies, a great deal of effort and time and finances go into developing these tests. So it's not very often that these tests take place. So just like you don't expect a brand new car, they're not going to come out with a new body and new model every year. It's a certain number of years that they say, okay, well, we're going to change the chassis on this vehicle. So here we see in 2016, they conducted an assessment where they show yet again diabetes is very high ranking in deaths, and we can see other things too. We can see birth defects. That's an issue, and we can see it's 4.0%. And why is that important? Because a lot of times we look at different age groups in these studies. We're looking at different cultures in these studies. We're looking at a number of things in these studies so that we can be sure we're representing everybody. So it's not to say you can't trust the information because, oh, they're one-sided. They don't look at everyone. They don't look at African Americans. They looking at everybody. Okay. So you can trust certain information, and it's hard for you to figure out what information to trust. Now, the CDC is bound by law to present factual information, and then you still have to pray. The Bible says never cease to pray. So continue to pray so you can continue to grow in knowledge and know who to listen to, what part of what they're saying to listen to, and when to go try to, search some stuff out on your own, because that's important as well. You can't just depend on somebody giving you the proper information. Just like when Eddie goes out and he does those Thursday episodes and tell you about Black history, he's also telling you the sources that you can go to find the same information yourself, and he explains why that's a reputable source. Just like I'm going here trying to tell you about reputable sources all the time. Why do I trust this information? Why are you the YouTube influencer that I should listen to? Why should I be influenced by what you're saying? Because you have the knowledge, you have the wherewithal, and you're sharing this information for free on YouTube. This is the YouTuber influencer I need to listen to. This is what I need to turn to. This is what I can find help to help myself. First, charity begins at home. You help yourself, then you look towards someone else to help you. Now, yeah, it's a whole lot to say, oh, well, just eat right. Just eat right. Well, what's eating right? I want to eat good too. I want not just eat right. I want to eat good. But these statistics are showing you that statistically, you have to make sure that you are beating these odds. And that's what statistics are. If you do not do a particular thing, for example, if you're not exercising, you're not moving around and staying mobile, and you're getting sick in your body and you may not be aware of it, these are things that can help you to understand the signs and symptoms to what that is. The National Diabetes Statistics Report provides information on the prevalence, existing cases, that's what they're saying, and the incidents, which are new cases. I love how they break that up. I mean, if you want to pause it and look at it more, feel free to do that. But it also gives you statistics, and it breaks it down not just for one particular culture, but for all the cultures. And if you want to find more about your culture, dig in deeper and look for it. What did Eddie say? Sources are important with health because following foolery may cost your life. Yes. And it's not just with health that the foolery will cost you your life. It's following any wayward information, and you thinking you're doing the right thing, and you're doing something that's going to cost you in the long run and shorten your life. If you have a sickness in your body, it's like saying, oh, I have a cold, but I'm not going to do anything about it. And then the cold gets worse. So before the cold gets worse and takes over your life and shortens your life, do something about it. If you have a headache, you're not just going to say, oh, I have a headache, I'm just going to keep the headache and continue to live my life. No, you're going to lay down, you're going to get more sleep, you're going to stop being so stressed out. You may even avoid eating for a while because you're thinking, oh, okay, well, I can't do anything right now. I'm trying to focus on losing this headache. It's the same thing with diabetes. If you have diabetes or even pre-diabetes, then guess what? Go find out, how do I get rid of this? How do I fix this? Now, here's some fast facts on diabetes. All of these things are found on the CDC website. So I fully encourage you to go and check CDC out and these websites. And you can just type this information in, pause it, look it in, or you can type in the very top names of it, or just type in the word diabetes. And there you have it. Anyway, here you can see diabetes is 37.3 million people have diabetes. That's 11.3% of the United population, the U.S. population. So basically in the U.S. of A, North America alone, so yes, they also do global studies and statistics and show you global information. And that's my thing, baby. I check out some global information. I want to check out the global information because in all over the world, there's African Americans, white people, and other cultures. And I want to know, and I've always been interested in global studies because if it's happening there, the odds are of it happening here in America where I live are extremely high. So I want to know, well, what's going on over there? What are they doing about it over there? Then I look at home and say, well, what are we doing about it over here? What's going on? And I put two and two together, and I'm not just putting two and two together from what my mama said, what my daddy said, what my grandma said, what my granddaddy said, what the teachers said, and oh, I done ran into the principal in the hallway, and the principal said they're gonna put an end to it. I'm taking a little bit from everybody that crossed my path and everybody who path I cross because I'm putting myself in the way of those paths so that I can build me. I can build me and I can trust me. And by trusting myself, now I know better so I can communicate to loved ones how they can help me. What can they do? How can they encourage me? What can we do together? And I make sure that they also stay healthy and they also do the same things I'm doing so that I'm not living in this world alone. And if I got to live alone, then I'm going to live it. I'm going to rock it. But I don't want to necessarily be by myself if I can avoid it. And you can avoid that. And this is how. Now, some people have been diagnosed. 28.7 million people have been diagnosed with diabetes, including 28.5 million adults. But what about the undiagnosed? The undiagnosed are 8.5 million people. Now, how do they know? How are they aware of how many people go undiagnosed with that? Let's take a close look at that. They said undiagnosed 8.5 million people, and 23% of them are adults. Now, how do they know? They know because when these people go in, when you go in for a regular checkup, they're checking some things, and the doctors are coming to conclusions. They're putting one and one together, and they're like, well, you're overweight, your sugar levels are high. These statistics are in alignment with the matter that you may have diabetes and you don't even know it. That's a problem because the longer you go without knowing, the more problems it is sitting in your body causing. They are creating health solutions that are often denied to America due to politics. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I find really intriguing about uh, doing global studies and researching global information about what people are doing overseas and in other countries, because a lot of the things that they're doing over there is so fascinating. I don't want to miss out on the information. And I love sci-fi movies, and it's like, oh, this sci-fi movie is so good. The reason why it was so good was because it was really based on something that's happening overseas. And they're actually doing like DNA swamping, RNA, and all this stuff that they will not allow us to do in America, even though America does have a lot more liberties than other countries. What Eddie say, they also look at an autopsy result. Yes, and they look at the autopsies of the people who have died, and a lot of times they died from diabetes. And the family's like, "What do you mean they died from diabetes? They went into a diabetic coma. They're not diabetic. They've never been diagnosed. Why didn't they get diagnosed? Because they never went to the doctor. And had they gone to the doctor, they could have avoided the problems that ensue with diabetes. Okay, let's look at some more stuff. It says pre-diabetes. So before you get diabetes, you mean to tell me you get pre-diabetes? Yes, a total of 96 million people aged 18 years or older have pre-diabetes. That's 38% of the adult population in America alone, North America. And then 65 years or older, the pre-diabetes patients are 26.4 million people. And it's like that's 48.8% of people, well, adults of that age group that are pre-diabetic. And some of them do not know, because men, I don't know if you have a man in your life, and some women, they don't want to go to the doctor. They don't want to go to the doctor. I'm not fond of doctors. I do not want to go to the doctor. Every time I go to the doctor, I got to be nice, because they're about to do some things that's going to be really invasive to my body. And I don't want to be bothered with that. And so I could definitely understand how some people would say, I don't want to go to the doctor. Who wants to go to the doctor? Very few people raise their hand and say, oh, it's time to go to the doctor. Let me get ready. I got to go to the doctor. Very few people are very familiar with their doctor. They're like, oh, we're on first name basis. Hey, how you doing, doc? And all that. Very few people. And for those people, that's great. You love your doctor. You like going to your doctor. Get online, promote that doctor. So we'll know, you know what I'm saying? So we'll know, where is this doctor? I want to know this doctor. But we know, being Crump, we know if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. We knew about him. We knew about all these other people. But there are other people in your state and local near you where you can go to, especially if we get online and we say, well, look, this person is so good, you got to go. If you're in Chicago, this person is so good. If you're in Alabama, go see this doctor if you get a chance. So definitely, put it out there. Who is this person that's so good? Who is this person that's trustworthy? Tell people. And if you on YouTube and you're a YouTube influencer and you're not putting kind of good out there, get it out there, because that's the kind of good everybody wants to know. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Wiley? Now the Man Up Show is on here. Okay, I got an appointment Friday, and I'm counting down the days. Hey, I feel you. I feel you. Just stay prayerful. It's something that you got to do, but stay prayerful. I think in a way, that's just God's way of saying, hey, when was the last time we had a conversation? And then you're like, well, God, it's time for me to go to the doctor. Let's have a little chat. So definitely, if you're staying prayerful, if you're staying vigilant with your spiritual life, and you're listening to that voice that's saying, maybe we shouldn't eat this burger. Maybe we should eat half of it. We just compromise, eat half, put the other half in the fridge, and we'll come back to it later. And we'll take some vitamins. We'll make sure we take our vitamins because we ate that burger. These compromises, because you want to live a good life and you want to have fun, but at the same time you need to be aware. And the Bible does warn us that we'll perish for the lack of knowledge. So definitely go to the doctor and see what they have to say. It may be okay, because pre-diabetes, you can get over pre-diabetes. We're going to get into that. Now, diabetes. What is diabetes? Diabetes is a chronic, long lasting health condition that affects how your body turns food into energy. Your body breaks down most of the food you eat into sugar, which they call glucose. Scientists, that's who they are. And it releases it into your bloodstream. When your blood sugar goes up, it signals your pancreas to release insulin. Insulin acts like a key to let the blood sugar into your body cells for use as energy. With diabetes, your body doesn't make enough insulin or it can't use it like it should. When there isn't enough insulin or your cells stop responding to the insulin, too much blood sugar stays in your bloodstream over time. That can cause serious health problems such as heart disease, vision loss, and kidney disease. And those are the things that, if you're pre diabetic, you want to make sure you stay on top of that. If you're overweight, and they're always trying to tell people of different cultures that you're overweight, because a lot of the times they don't have the statistic information to say, oh, well, you're within the realms, but you may want to be, sure that you're staying within the realms because you're borderline pre-diabetic because of your weight, or because the fact that you're a bit more sedentary, or your age, or whatever the facts is that they tell you. You might want to consider it. Just consider it and take that information in and do something about it. Stay proactive. Okay, just like when they say, "Oh, the Super Bowl's coming," what you do, you go and prepare for it. You go and prepare. You, even if you're not into the Super Bowl, you know that, oh, now everybody's going to be over here buying up all the food, buying up all the drinks, and getting ready for parties. So what you do is you go and you get everything that you need so that you can beat the rush, or so that you can be prepared because you're having a Super Bowl party at your house, or whatever the case is. You prepare, and that's all this is: staying ready to be prepared. Now, there isn't a cure yet for diabetes, but losing weight, eating healthy food, and being active can really help other things, prevent prediabetes, or uh, eliminate the prediabetes diagnosis. But here's some information here, and you can go again and pause and look this information up for yourself. You can take medication as prescribed as you feel led to take medication. A lot of times we get this and we say, I'm not taking this prescription. And a lot of times people just say, hey, okay, well, I tried it and it did help. And there you go. And then some people say, well, I tried the medicine, and the medicine was like, oh, it made me feel bad, so I didn't take it. And you go back to your doctor and you tell them what happened when you tried to take the medicine. They'll change it and they'll work something else out, because it's more than one way to skin a cat. And if that particular drug was not it, productive for you, then there may be something else that they can provide to you. So don't give up. Don't give up and say, well, that didn't work, so I'm not going to take anything else. That made me feel worse, so I'm not going to. Don't do that, because you're hurting yourself, but you're also hurting those people that love you, the people that's invested their time and energy and love into you, and they're expecting that you're going to be here so that they can talk to you again, so they can depend on your shoulder and your ear, your hugs, your kisses, your support, your words of encouragement, your jokes. What, just you being in the vicinity, mumbling and grumbling while they're trying to barbecue and have their parties, and they're looking over at you and you just grumbling, and then they give you a plate and you finally get that nod of approval, like, yeah, this food is good, or that person cooked it. I know that person can't cook. They're all looking forward to all of that. You know what's going on at the family barbecues. So you got to be there. Now, there's different types of diabetes. Types of diabetes. There are three main types of diabetes: type 1, type 2, and gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes is diabetes while you're pregnant. And that's why I keep saying women's testimonies are really different than anybody else's testimony, because their path is so much more complicated. But type 1 diabetes is thought to be caused by an autoimmune reaction The body attacks itself by mistake. And a lot of times when a woman is pregnant, the body is attacking the fetus and attacking itself. So these things that's going on with your body is like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? How do we get to know this information? We get to know this information because people participate in studies and various studies of information that you may not want to share with anyone. But that's why you get to participate in studies as an anonymous participant. But we have to know this information in order to grow and to help you later in your life. So definitely take part in these studies. But here we can see this reaction stops your body from making insulin. Approximately 5 to 10% of the people who have diabetes have type 1. Symptoms of type 1 diabetes often develop quickly. It's usually diagnosed in children, teens, and young adults. If you have type 1 diabetes, you'll need to take insulin every day to survive. Currently, no one knows how to prevent type 1 diabetes. That does not mean that they will not eventually figure it out. So, definitely, if you have type 1 diabetes, continue to participate in these studies. Let's figure it out. Let's try to find hope. And it's not just you hoping, it's everybody hoping because at some point they didn't know how to get rid of type 2 diabetes. So now they have a way to get out of it. They're trying to figure it out, but they could not have done it without people participating in these studies. So definitely at some point, you got to trust that if I participate in this, it may be beneficial. If it doesn't help me now, it may help a family member or a loved one later. Many folks don't have full on diabetes, but these are signs. Yes, and that's why it is strongly encouraged when your doctor is asking you to do blood work or your doctor is saying, okay, well, we got to run some tests. It's not necessarily to say that they're going to come back with some information that says, oh, you have a serious problem. It could be to say, oh, well, we have some great news for you. Even though it seems like you're borderline, whatever, we can turn this thing around right now to make sure that you don't cross that threshold from the problem looking like it's about to start and the problem dissipating altogether because we saw it before it became a problem. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. What other kind of diabetes is there? Type 2 diabetes. Now, again, these slides came from the CDC, so you could go back there and find this information too. So, type 2 diabetes is when your body doesn't use insulin well and can't keep the blood sugar at a normal level. About 90 to 95% of people with diabetes have type 2 diabetes. And while that is a very sad situation, that also means that you have hope that you can get out of having type 2 diabetes. Let's look at this. It says type 2 diabetes can be prevented or delayed with healthy lifestyle changes, such as losing a little weight, eating a little healthier, being active. Now, come on. If you knew that more active you were and the food that you were eating was going to eventually cause you some problems, how many people out there wouldn't do just a little bit differently? It's not to say you can't eat a donut. It's to say do all things decently and in order. Why? Well, prove it to me. I'm doing it right here and I'm telling you why right now. Okay. But did Eddie say the body? Yeah, and that's important because a lot of people say, well, how do you know? Prove it to me. How do you know? Because the test that you're taking in these studies, when you go to the doctor and they taking your blood, they're conducting tests and they're trying to look at it. They put it under the microscope and what do they see? They tell you what they see in a way that you can understand and digest the information. So yeah, more vegetables, eat more vitamins. Vitamins supplement that you're not eating more vegetables. The vitamins are supplementing the fact that you're not getting a lot of sun and that you're not being very active. And I don't know who wants to take a whole bunch of pills all their life, but if you take care of your body, then you can do better and live longer and healthier with less aches and pains. There's a doctor, Sunjay Gupta, and he wrote a book And you better believe when I heard about it, I'm sitting there watching, and then I hear he wrote a book. I start taking notes and start researching where can I find this book. So I'm trying to make sure I'm writing his name down properly, because now I need to search and see where's the book, because I need to read this book. But anyway, let's look at this. Gestational diabetes. These are the things that put women in increased health risk to die while they're having to carry children into this world to continue to populate the earth. Now, gestational diabetes develops in pregnant women who have never had diabetes. If you have gestational diabetes, your body could be at higher risk for health problems. Gestational diabetes usually goes away after your baby is born because the weight comes off after the baby. It increases your risk, though, to have type 2 diabetes later in your life. And your baby is more likely to have obesity as a child, teen, and develop type 2 diabetes later. And again, that goes right back to studies where people are saying it's habitual, it's a habit, it's something that you kind of like programmed to want this sugar, to want to do these things, to have your body overweight. So unless you continue to keep a really close eye on it, it can be something that will come back to hurt you in the end. Okay, I don't condone what Eddie just said right there. But if that's what you do, you just better make sure that's okay with them too. Okay, is this yes, it's on the rise. It's on the rise because a lot of people are unaware. They don't really understand how pregnant women are more health risk and have higher risk concerns when they're pregnant, because a lot of these young ladies, they're going out here trying to live their life as if they're not pregnant. And then when the doctor says, oh well, look, let me tell you, maybe you should slow down just a bit, or they tell you that your baby, or how about this, just listen to your body. Your body is telling you, oh man, I'm slowing down today. I'm a little slower. I had a doctor, and she was telling me things that I knew was not accurate for my health, because I had 3 children before the last one that I had. I knew something was wrong. And that doctor, though that was her job to tell me and help me and all that, she was saying things to my husband that was making it difficult for him to support me the way I needed support, because she was telling him, oh no, she's just faking. She can walk. I couldn't walk. I tried. I kept pushing myself, but my legs would not lift off the ground, and I would slide my feet on the ground. And then when I had the baby, that's when they discovered, oh, we don't have any idea how you were even able to walk the little bit the walk that you were doing, because yeah, you were paralyzed from the waist down because the baby was so big. So you have to listen to your body. That's my point. Not to go into my testimony of how I couldn't walk and how I started to learn to walk again and gained all that weight and everything. It's okay, because when you're gaining weight for the right reasons, because you're trying to carry a baby into this world and you're trying to make sure that baby survives the gestation period and gets out of here and makes it all right. And even if you have to be in the NICU for a while, I was in the NICU with 2 of my babies, not just one, but 2. And those were some difficult times. And though I don't feel like I should have been in there, it wasn't for me to say where I should be when I'm doing what I need to do. When God say go, I go. And if he said go to the NICU and you're like, well, I'm okay, my baby okay. And they say, well, no, we got to put this baby in there. I was in there and there was other people that was getting help by just looking at what I was doing. And that changed a lot of things in the NICU and the way people interact with their babies, to include the preemies. So a lot of times you have to understand you're not going through just for yourself. A lot of the times you're going through because somebody's watching you that's weaker than you, and they need that example. So don't 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 be disheartened in times of your long suffering, because that's just a part of the fruits of the spirit. That's one of the things that you won't get over. You can't get around it. Long suffering is a part of life, but depending on your faith level, you can be helped through it. And yes, when you're pregnant, taking vitamins is a strong push for you to make sure you're getting enough vitamins, to include vitamin supplements. So you are able to carry that baby. So if your body is telling you one thing and the doctor is saying something else, it doesn't matter. Listen to your body tell you that you are having a problem. So what I did was I took my vitamins and I put myself on bed rest. And I tried to move as little as possible until that baby was able to be viable on its own. And I pushed that baby out. I went to the doctor and got induced. She said, well, it's not time. You're rushing it. I already knew, as big as I was, there was no way that baby wasn't ready to come out. So I told him, I said, you better check again because we're doing this. You need to induce because the last baby you induced, and now this baby is not trying to have those contractions, not trying to respond to those contractions. So we need to induce again. So don't be afraid to tell your doctor. You know what needs to happen. They're learning what needs to happen, and y'all working together. It's a team effort. They don't know it all. Y'all learning together and you moving in the knowledge that you possess together and moving for a greater good, the positive one united goal, which is desirable outcomes. Okay. So don't be disheartened because you can't get the doctor to listen to you. Keep going, keep trying. Now, here we can see that the CDC has videos that's helping you to understand diabetes, pre-diabetes, and what to do. Now, pre-diabetes in the United States is 96 million adults. More than one of three have pre-diabetes. More than 8 in 10 of them don't know that they have it. With pre-diabetes, blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not high enough for type 2 diabetes. So while you may have high blood sugar and the doctor says slow down, you're going towards pre-diabetes, take their information to heart because there is good news. If you have pre-diabetes, a CDC recognized lifestyle change program can help you take healthy steps towards reversing that. Now that's awesome news. That means that they have programs. They figured it out. They looked at a whole bunch of world studies and they looked at different cultures and they said, look, we can help you. We know how to reach you. We know how to connect with you. We have all this information to say, well, we understand you don't want to do this. We know why you don't want to do this. Let us help you because now we know. And they learn because you're telling them things. Yeah, that doctor that I had almost cost us really big. My baby didn't have to be in the NICU, and I didn't have to be paralyzed from the waist down. But when you encounter those things, it's like you don't trust the doctors anymore. But you don't have to. You could go on here and find that same information that they looking up. Find it for yourself. Tell them, hey, doc, you said I have this. Let's look this up. Let's see what this is so I can tell you how I feel about what it is, the information that I might not be telling you so you don't know the information that can help me. So once I see what this is, maybe that one thing that I didn't tell you before, maybe that's relevant now that I can see. So now I'm withholding information. Now I'm going to share that information because I see how this is going to change my diagnosis. Black folks need to challenge doctors. Yeah, and it's not to say to challenge them in a derogatory way, but it's to say this is your life. Help yourself and help them help you. Yeah, really. Yes, all comments are welcome. I was willing to disagree. Yeah, but that's another thing. I did see in YouTube how there was this one pastor. He advocated for his wife. She was sick trying to carry the baby, and after having the baby she became ill even on top of her chronic ailment, and he had to advocate for her because what is it, people out here on these opioids, these opioids, and they're out here trying to just get drugs, get high, get all of this Adderall, and just get high for whatever reason. And the doctors are leery of giving out the medicine because too liberal with prescribing the medicines and giving everybody the medicines is causing a shortage. And some people who need it aren't getting it. Yeah, I love you too. So anyway, getting back to the topic, um, we need to continue to see these programs out, because reaching you with these things is how they're helping you. And a lot of times what they see is people don't want to do this alone, and people don't necessarily want to do it with their family members. They want to do it with somebody that knows the shoes they're in. So let's get back to the topic. What is prediabetes? Prediabetes is a serious health condition where blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not high enough to be diagnosed. So there's also something that you can do. You could take this test. Could you have prediabetes? Take the test. Just take the test. It's not going to kill you knowing. It's going to kill you not to know, or could kill you. What causes prediabetes? Insulin and hormone made by your pancreas that acts like a key to let blood sugar act sugar into cells for use as energy. It acts like so the sugar turns to power you. It's giving you that boost. It's helping you say, "Hey, we don't have any energy." What, it was a sneaker bar commercial, and it said, "We don't have any energy. We're not normal. We're not ourselves if we don't have this." So they hurry up and eat that sneaker bar, that chocolate, the peanuts, and all of those things that's inside of that candy bar is giving you sugar, is giving you the things that you need, the adrenaline, so that you can carry on just a little bit longer. But imagine if it was I don't know, some grapes, if it was some strawberries, if it was some kiwi, if it was something that was a fruit that was to give you that same boost of energy, but also nourish your body, not just give you a rush, and then there's a low that comes with that rush. So you got to be careful. So, yeah, there's another video that CDC put out there to help people to understand the signs and symptoms. You can have prediabetes for years, but have no clear symptoms. And that's a problem, because some people can say, I've never had this problem. I don't even eat like that. It doesn't matter. It matters what your body is doing with the food and the sugars you are eating. That's what matters. And a big sign of that is being overweight. You don't have to be a feather, but the weight, because the weight is signaling to your body and signaling to those who are watching that, okay, something's going on. We need to be more aware. We need to be more active. We need to do this, that, whatever it is. And being 45 years or older, you do have to start looking at yourself a little bit differently, because now, no matter what your lifestyle is, you start to slow down a bit. You start to slow down a bit because, hey, I'm tired. I'm tired more, or whatever. You got a lot more on your plate. You're doing a lot of things. You're going to school. You're going to work. You got your kids. You got your husband, or you have a whole lot of um what do they call it, resumes in, where people are saying, well, hey, I want to put my resume in, let's go out on a date, let's do this, let's go do this. So you're slowing down a bit, so you might need to check it a little bit. You have If you have a show, I think Tina would be a great guest. Oh, that's nice. Yes, I would definitely be willing to come on to a show and help other people, and give some information. Come on there with some of these facts and give people some helpful information. Yeah, you get hangry, and I know you need to eat. Yeah, and that's one of the things a lot of people say. When you get to the point where your hunger is affecting your mood, yeah, you hungry. You need to eat something. Anyway, but that's everybody. Some people, there's a simple blood test that you can take. It's worth it. Find someone you trust. Pray for guidance and wisdom. It may be someone you know who's going through it, or loving someone through it. You can ask them to understand and live through it. Lean to understand. We learn, we do better. We are called to use wisdom and to learn. That's biblical. And in any method of faith, they are telling you, they're teaching you, and everybody's trying to reach everybody in the way that they will be reached, be connected to the knowledge that's going to help them to sustain them. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. You need to go and get this information. If it's a friend and a friend, you're like, that friend doesn't really have the information. Hey, Gloria. Oh, I miss you. Love you. This, yes, thank you. That's a great message. This was someone, one of the viewers asked if I would do this because her husband is going through and she doesn't understand some things. And so I'm putting both of those things on the table. She doesn't understand why her husband didn't tell her that he was ill. And a lot of times men don't want to take their wife to the doctor. Eddie don't want me to go to the doctor with him, but I follow what I feel. And if I feel like I'm going to the doctor with you, I don't care what you say. Then and he goes to the doctor with me, and if my legs in stirrups and they all both of them looking down there, hey, that's what we doing, so that we can be helpers one to another, so we can both be invested in one another. And you can make jokes out of it because it's a very uncomfortable situation. Make jokes and give each other rewards and motivate one another and encourage one another, because this is something that you're doing with your life partner. This is somebody that you have to be aware. If you're gone, what are they going to do without you? Don't keep preparing them to live without you when they can live with you. It was actually designed that we grow old together, and we don't have to die at 80. We don't have to die at 50. We can keep going. And how? This is how. Take a few tests. It's not going to kill you not to know, but it could kill you if you don't listen to your body and you never find out. So some people that's pre-diabetic or diabetic and they don't know, it's not killing you yet. Yeah, it's not killing you yet, but it could kill you to keep being ignorant to it. So go. Preventing type 2 diabetes. If you have pre-diabetes, lose a little weight. Just lose a little weight and encourage yourself to keep losing weight and join some of these programs. I don't care if you're out there dancing. I don't care if you're out there roller skating. I don't care if you're going to church and shouting it off. I don't care what it is. If you're going out there and you're doing motivational speaking and you're standing on your feet for hours, I don't care if you're going out there mentoring young people, if you're going out there just staying mobile. Do something to stay mobile and lose a little weight, because fasting alone isn't going to help you. And let's just be honest, if you getting some good eating, you're not going to fast as much as you probably should. Well, yeah, I gotta walk away when they start with the needles, but I'm there. I may look away. I'm still in the vicinity where I can be seen, even if I can't take it myself. I have to stand there and be strong because my partner needs me. So here's some more resources for lifestyle change and other programs that the CDC are making us aware of. And if the CDC says these are some programs, then guess what? These are programs they're monitoring. They're monitoring it. So if you have some racial issues and you're like, well, they're being biased or racist or whatever the problem is, report it. The CDC is going to stay on top of it. So now you can trust. This is information you can trust. This is something you can depend on, rely on, and help improve yourself. And you too, you can get together and make something locally for a group, and you all do something locally. But the CDC has things that's in your area where you can use this information to grow your knowledge base and help yourself. And this PDF file, you can download that on your phone these days, and you can read those files, skim through it. You don't have to read everything. You don't have to know everything, but know something. Okay. And then there's videos that everybody don't want to read. And that's okay. You don't have to read, but you can watch a YouTube video. And if you don't want to watch the YouTube video because the YouTube video too long or whatever your reasons are that you don't want to watch it, look, speed it up. There's a thing on there in the settings where you can speed watch these videos just to get all the information, and then perk up your ears really good and listen to what they have to say. What does Eddie say? Work out with your loved one. Yeah, and you can do that. And I'm going to say that is in a different slide. I know one. Yeah, and it's like this. Sometimes we feel like I don't feel like Eddie really wanted me to go to the doctor. He didn't trust people. He didn't trust people with his virgin wife. She a virgin. I ain't finna let you go out here and do what? Y'all might do something. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I'm going with you. And then they both in there looking and seeing what's going on. Oh, you gonna touch her where? Yeah, I'm gonna be right here looking at you. And sometimes being military, we didn't have the option whether we will be able to see a female doctor or a male doctor. And in this world that we live in nowadays, it doesn't matter if you're a female or male because everybody like that good feel. Okay, so he was like right there, like I'm looking to see everything you doing and making sure this is appropriate. I don't care about the extra nurse that's in there with the doctor. He was right there. And I'm not like that. He can go ahead and go to the doctor because he's military. He probably goes to the doctor, right out of the work or whatever. I trust you. God got you. I ain't worried about you. Go. Come back with a problem though. Come back with something. Yeah, we gonna have this problem. We gonna have this problem because I'm a woman before I'm anything, and we gonna have a problem. And he gonna understand. He gonna hear my voice. When they say, "Hear me, war." When they say, yeah, and there's other things you could do, and that's a good suggestion right there, Eddie. Now, we also have uh, these other videos that show you about details about lifestyle change. It's not just about, I'm gonna blow it up so you can see it better, so you can pause it when you get ready and look at it really good, so you can see what you need to do and where did I get this information. I want you to see where I got the information. I want you to know where you can go and get the information. Look at these videos. Look at what they're saying. If you don't want to listen to it, at least you heard just a little bit right here. But I would strongly suggest you look at it. It's a lot of people that feel the same way that you feel, and they're in these programs trying to change their lifestyle. It is not about a diet, it's about a lifestyle change. And here, you know, you don't have to join it. Join, don't join. I don't know. I don't care. All I'm saying is do something to stay active. Dance, roller skate, go to the national park and walk around. That's free. Walk up and down your stairs in your house about 50 times a day. You could do that on your own. Nobody's there watching you to see if you fail, if you succeed, or if you do more than 50 times or whatever it is. I have too many stairs in my house. That's okay. It's a lot of people who are grown and older adults well into their old age, and they walking the stairs in their house. There's some people that say, well, once you get a certain age, lose that house with all the stairs and get yourself a single level house as opposed to a single family home. Get you a ranch house. No, I strongly suggest you keep those stairs and go and walk those stairs because that's exercise that you could be getting that you're taking for granted. And if you remove it, that's extra. You're more sedentary. You're sitting still more now. Take some holistic medicines that, and that's another reason why I like to do global studies and see what people are doing overseas and in other countries. What are they doing? Because a lot of those people are living well into 100, well into over 100. What did you do? How did you do that? How did you accomplish that? Are you in the same aches and pains as those people here in America? Maybe you're not. So that's why you want to participate, so you can find out what other people are doing. And just like I went and studied what people doing over, oh no, over in Africa, over in India, over wherever they are, I went to see what are they doing. What are they doing? Oh, this is what they did. They started eating turmeric. What is turmeric? What is turmeric? They started eating ginger. Ginger? What does ginger do? Ginger is doing something for me. I need to eat that. Garlic. What is garlic? Yes, join the conversation. Leave something. And Eddie's out there on Twitch. She's putting information out there. Thank you, Pastor Sarton. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being here and commenting and interacting. But a lot of this information, we are looking to people who know, people who are in the know to tell us. And sometimes they have other messages that they're bringing, like Pastor Sarton there. He may be bringing a different message on Sunday and on Bible study day, whatever he's led to bring the message. So you have to get this information somewhere. And where can you get it? Well, let's see right here at the CDC. And why participate? That's why. Walk around your neighborhood, elementary school, and the library, and keep your eyes open for danger. Feel like a valid part of your community by simply walking around the school and library and enjoying the day. It's free, and people, they'll be happy to see you. Oh, well, there's John. Hi, John. John's 80 years old, but he's walking strong, and he's out here every day with a bottle of water and a smile. Just keep going. Now, I have an Easter egg for you, and I'm out of time, so I'm gonna give you this Easter egg. But now that we hit that point, I want you to understand that your health and your mental health are strongly connected. If your body is ill or down, it is affecting the way you mentally feel, the way you mentally respond, how you're ingesting information, how you're encoding, how you're learning. It's affecting you. And how can you improve? You can improve by these measures that I'm telling you in these episodes for free. Now, if I put a money value on it, everybody will be out there trying to I'm going. It's $500. I'm gonna get that episode. Now, I'm not knocking Beyonce. I'm just saying some people out here trying to go and get $500 so they can see that show. But this right here, this is something that's going to grow you and help you glow. Yes, we need to learn together. I'm still learning. I don't know everything, and every day I learn something new. I'm happy to learn. I'm happy to grow, and I'm happy to share. So let's share. Here's an Easter egg for later. National Education Policy Center is an annual report on virtual education. Okay. And not everyone who possesses a rare precious jewel lacks the mindfulness to understand its value. Thus, Easter eggs presented in a protective manner to ensure undeniable credibility. There's a reason why I say the things I say. And like I said, I'm taking you on a journey. I'm going to get you there. You're going to learn what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. And it's going to all make sense to you later. But for now, here we have this. So I'm gonna remove myself so I could let you see this, and you could pause it so you can understand what's going on with these virtual schools, so you can see how this information is helpful. I want you to look at this. Okay, now that you've looked at it, now that you've paused it, maybe even look at that information. It's going to come back, and I'm going to show you what to do with that information. Don't knock virtual schooling. It was in the pipeline for so long. The pandemic may have rushed it a bit, but it's here, and it wasn't going anywhere to begin with, because in the 80s, when computers hit traditional schools, in public traditional schools, they predicted then that the computer ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. You got to learn a computer. Look, you don't have to know it to the point where you could teach it, but what you do have to do is you have to be understanding that it's getting to the point where artificial intelligence is going to help you to navigate it. So don't be disheartened. Don't harden your heart against it. It's a change that's inevitable. It's coming, and it's going to reach you and be put in a position where you can use it and utilize it for your good. I really appreciate what you said. And oh, got every week, very much. Thank you. And I'm sure Eddie really appreciated it. I watched I watched you guys over Eddie's shoulder, and sometimes he puts it on the television, and that's what we're watching while I'm working and researching. And I'll comment and I'll say, "Hey, say this, tell him this, tell him I said that." But a lot of times I'm knee deep in work, and I'm researching, and I gotta see what's going on, because I got something. I'm gonna bring it to you. I'm gonna bring it to you all, and I guarantee it's gonna edify you. Okay. So that's what I try to do. Oh, yes, and we do appreciate your support. We appreciate everyone's support. And if it wasn't for people putting in the request to do these episodes, I would continue on doing randomness, because adroit living is about living using the tools that you possess and bring that thing that you're able to bring to the table, as opposed to being in a box and trying to produce or manufacture what someone else is telling you to do. So that's why I'm a bit random, because there's so much information out here. And I'm looking at YouTube, I'm looking at Twitter, I'm looking at TikTok, and I'm looking at Facebook. I'm looking at all these social medias, and I'm just like, my God, look at all this misinformation. I have the ability to help give guided perspective on all these little tidbits, and I'm out here trying to give it for free, because it's too much free misinformation. Okay, so again, subscribe. Even if you don't click like, subscribe, share, because this information may help someone that wasn't able to talk to you about the things they were going through and how it was affecting them mentally and physically and emotionally and affecting a whole man. So share these episodes with somebody. Share and tell them, you know me. Listen to her. You know what I'm saying? Put me out there. Tell them you listen to me, and tell them you know me, and say, hey, I've known her since she was little. I know this. I've known her since then. Or whatever, whenever it was that you knew me, tell them that this information is information they can trust. So, yes, leave your questions and we will respond. And I will do an episode according to the request. Okay, so that's my show for today. I appreciate everyone coming and everyone staying and everyone who commented and showed some love and said that they appreciate the information. And remember, there are other episodes. Go back and watch them, binge watch them. There's some information in there as well as Easter eggs, and see if you can piece together what I'm going to come and tell you. Okay, we have one more comment. I have type 2 diabetes and everything has sugar. Yes, everything has sugar. I have such hard time to follow a plan, because 1 minute something is good for, and that's true. And it's very difficult. And that's why a lot of times people don't trust the information that they're being given, because 1 minute is good, the next minute is not. It's like, wait a minute, you said it was okay. And it's like, what do I do? It's difficult. That's why the Bible says we should never cease to pray. And I'm sorry to keep going back to the Bible and seemingly to push that on people. It's not that I'm pushing it on you. It's that the knowledge is right there. Though you don't like the source, doesn't mean it's not a reputable source. This is information that's there to grow you, build you, and help you to live. But sis, I pray that you're able to get that weight up off you, stay active, stay happy, stay motivated, and just get out there, sis. Get out there, and remember, your testimony isn't just about you. It's about all the people you're motivating that's in the same boat or headed that way or loving somebody they know to get through it. Yeah, we have to pray, and we also need to communicate with each other. Diabetes is out there, many, yeah, and it's like the communication, the transmission in each culture is different. The communication method is different. So if I give you a wink and a nod in the African American community, that wink and a nod is different than it is in other cultures. So definitely communicate effectively in whatever way your love language is, and whatever way you could tell people and motivate them. If you know somebody has type 2 diabetes, get them on their feet. Encourage them to come out. And if they don't come out, go where they are. Go where they are, and don't let them sit down. Don't let them sit down, and keep them motivated to keep drinking water and moving and staying active. And even if they just laugh, and you can laugh the weight off, okay? That's why I say let's learn together. Yeah, let's learn together. Let's grow together. I don't know everything. I don't know everything, and a little bit that I know, I'm willing to help you and I'm willing to share, because I am, because you are. And if we are together, who can be against us? And with God in our life, the little God in me and the little God in you, will put that together. We growing, baby. We growing brighter and bigger and better together. Come on, y'all. Let's get this in. Now that's more than the end of my show. I went over a little bit because I had to get that comment in there. But again, remember, mental health is physical wealth.